13 years. So what does today mean to you?
Well, today's the culmination of a lot of work by a lot of people. It means that New Hampshire is a beacon for the rest of the country. New Hampshire is moving forward, and hopefully the rest of the country will move forward too on capital punishment, see it as the dragon that it is. It's time to let it go and move forward and bring us one step closer to becoming a better society.
For you personally, why did you join the cause in the first place? What is it about capital punishment that you don't think is right?
I spent 30 years in the criminal justice system as a prosecutor and as a defense attorney. And so I know how arbitrary it is, how it's people doing the best that they can under circumstances that don't always lead to the best results possible. And they're human beings, and they're frail human beings, and they make errors, and it was no place to have such a final outcome. The government should not be in the position of killing people, period.
You have a unique perspective with your years as a prosecutor. Do you, when people say, but when people argue that somebody who commits cold-blooded crimes and somebody who murders a police officer while on duty, they deserve the death penalty, what do you say to those folks?
People say, one of the things that some of our governors have said is that the death penalty is reserved for the most heinous, just the worst of the worst. And to me, that's very painful language. I have listened over the last 13 years to countless stories of murder victim family members who have lost loved ones. And for each individual person who suffers that kind of loss, it is the most heinous crime. It is the worst of the worst. And their lives are just as valuable as a police officer or a judge. And that kind of divisive language is painful and disrespectful.
And so in New Hampshire, and this is just me being a little bit ignorant to our law here, can you just explain what was on the books and what has been repealed? I know that's a big question, but really just briefly, wasn't the death penalty reserved for certain types of crimes? Am I right?
Yeah,
okay.
Well, it's either certain types of crimes or certain category of victims. And for instance, the death of a police officer in duty could get the death penalty. The death of a prosecutor or a judge could get the death penalty. Crimes committed in the course of kidnapping or rape or home invasion. And kind of interestingly, especially in this atmosphere, a crime committed in violation of the controlled substance law. So someone who sells drugs and the person that they sell them to dies as a result, that person could have been subject to capital punishment under our statute.
Interesting. And Michael Addison is, sorry I was coming up with his name.
Yeah.
He's our only death row inmate at this time in New Hampshire, correct? What does this do? It's not retroactive as I understand. What will this do to his case? Or do you know?
No, I don't know. You're correct that the law is not retroactive. So it may not affect his case at all. But I am sure that his attorneys will file something with the court and try to get some kind of relief from the single sentence that has been handed down as a death penalty sentence when there have been over 2,000 homicides since 1939.
You guys must feel good today. Is this a celebratory lunch or what?
It was a celebratory lunch.
Thank you so much. May I just get your full name?